Hello everyone, welcome to another video, but before talk about of subject, don't forget subscribe and leave your like. Breaking, Saints hire Doug Nussmeier to be their next offensive coordinator. In his introductory press conference, New Orleans Saints head coach Kellen Moore stated that he will be calling plays. This takes some importance out of the OC search, but getting the correct hire will still be extremely important for the team. The search came down to Philadelphia Eagles RB coach/assistant head coach Jamel Singleton, Miami Dolphins WR coach Robert Prince, and Eagles QB coach Doug Nussmeier. Even before the Saints hired their head coach, it was believed that if Kellen Moore were the guy, Nussmeier would be the favorite for OC. Today, per Nick Underhill, the Saints have officially hired Doug Nussmeier as the team's offensive coordinator. Since Kellen Moore has become a coach, Nussmeier has been by his side. It was obvious that he would come to the Saints if Moore were hired, and because Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni does not allow his staff to make lateral moves, Nussmeier had to be hired in a promoted role. In 2020, he was named the Dallas Cowboys QB coach, and since then, he has worked with Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. This is a good history of QBs to work with, and his focus will be on putting the starting QB in the best position to succeed. Report: Eagles to hire Dolphins offensive assistant as pass game coordinator. For the last several days, the talk of the town was whether or not the Miami Dolphins would lose newly signed wide receivers coach Robert Prince to the New Orleans Saints. According to several reports, New Orleans' new head coach, Kellen Moore, was interested in the former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver coach becoming the Saints' offensive coordinator. Prince will not be joining the Saints as their new OC. Instead, the team will hire Doug Nussmeier, Philadelphia's quarterback coach. However, the Dolphins are not out of the woods yet. According to a report from NFL Network, Miami is still expected to lose one of its offensive coaches. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, the Philadelphia Eagles plan to hire Dolphins offensive specialist Parks Frazier as the team's pass game coordinator. This move comes after the Super Bowl champs promoted Kevin Patullo to offensive coordinator. Frazier, 33, joined the Miami Dolphins as an offensive assistant before the 2024 NFL season. Before joining Mike McDaniel's coaching staff, Frazier spent 5 seasons with the Indianapolis Colts, holding various positions with the team, and 1 year with the Carolina Panthers as the team's pass game coordinator. He will now join the Eagles coaching staff after calling plays for the East team at last month's East-West Shrine game. The question now, however, is what do the Dolphins do after Frazier's departure? Well, if you recall, the Dolphins signed former Houston Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick to McDaniel's coaching staff as an assistant a few weeks ago. Perhaps the team had a feeling they could lose Frazier this offseason and wanted to get another offensive mind on the coaching staff. Perhaps Miami could bring in another assistant or up-and-comer, but for now, it appears that Miami could head into next year with the current staff. And with a former offensive coordinator now on staff, alongside Frank Smith, Darrell Bevell, Mike McDaniel, and the rest of Miami's offensive staff, I can't help but feel like the Dolphins are okay watching Frazier leave for Philly, even if he is one of the NFL's bright, young offensive minds. What are your thoughts on Parks Frazier joining the Philadelphia Eagles? Are you glad the New Orleans Saints will not hire Robert Prince as their next offensive coordinator? How important is the Bobby Slowick hire to the Miami Dolphins' success this upcoming season? Let us know in the comments section below. Miami Dolphins predicted to cut ties with former All-Pro Tua Tagovailoa missed 5 games due to injury last season, yet the Miami Dolphins still managed to finish with an 8-9 record. It's the first time they've missed the playoffs since Mike McDaniel became the team's head coach in 2022. While injuries certainly played a factor, now the Dolphins get to spend the offseason hunting for upgrades that can help Miami return to the postseason. To do so, they may have to create salary cap space to cut ties with some talented players. The Miami Dolphins have already begun clearing salary cap space in anticipation of the 2025 NFL offseason kicking off, releasing Raheem Mostert, Durham Smith and Kendall Fuller. However, the Dolphins might not be done. Recently, The Athletic's Jim Aiello predicted the Dolphins' most likely cap casualty this offseason, and in doing so, he named former All-Pro kicker Jason Sanders. The Dolphins' salary cap is in rough shape, and unfortunately for them, they don't have many easy outs to free up space. For the biggest impact, they may wind up restructuring or extending contracts for big-money players such as LT Taron Armstead and LB Bradley Chubb. Cutting them would incur huge dead cap hits, $32.7 million for Armstead and $27.3 million for Chubb, and push more of their money into the future. Sanders is a good kicker and fairly compensated with a cap hit of $4.7 million in 2025. But the Dolphins need cap space, and cutting him would save $3.3 million. As noted, Sanders was still effective last season, connecting on 90.2% of his field goal attempts. He also drilled 92.9% of his extra points. While his lone All-Pro season came back in 2020, he's still just 29, so Sanders likely won't be slowing down anytime soon. And you fan? Do you think about Jason Sanders' situation? Write on the comments.